I'm really behind on my reading goal this year. Normally I read around 30 books, so I set my reading goal for 25 just to shoot under, just to make sure that I would reach it, and I'm 2 books behind. So I am gonna go to the beach right now because I'm unemployed, and I'm like, wait, why am I not taking advantage of this? It's like the end of July and I haven't really been to the beach. And I'm reading Good Material right now by Dolly Alderton. I love her so much. I've read all of her other books, and I'm just gonna sit on the beach and try to read for a couple hours. Hi, so this is a little check-in. I'm 130-ish pages into this, and I'm loving it so far. Dolly Alderton just hits the nail on the head every single time. This book is about this man named Andy, and he's 35 years old, and he just got dumped by his girlfriend that he lived with. Like, he really thought that they were gonna be partners for life. And he's a not very successful comedian, so he has to move out, find housing, and just kind of get back on his feet. And it's genuinely so funny. Like, Dolly Alderton is just so funny every single time. If you like her other books, you would definitely like this. I do like that it's from a guy's perspective because it's just different. Like, I feel like Everything I Know About Love is a memoir, and then Ghost was, the main character in Ghost was like very similar to herself. So this is really different, but it still has like the same kind of humor. I keep forgetting to listen to it. Like, the fastest way to read a book is sitting down when you're reading it and then listening to the audiobook, like if you're doing chores or driving or on a walk, and I just like keep forgetting. So I'm gonna try to do that with this to catch up to my reading goal. So it's Sunday and I just checked Goodreads and I'm 3 books behind my reading goal again, which is not good. I guess it's good because I've like been busy and stuff, but it's 8:30 and I don't have anything today till 1, so I'm just gonna try to sit here and get a bunch of reading done this morning. I'm on page 200 and there's like 350 pages, and I'm really enjoying it. I've just been busy, and I also get so distracted by TikTok, which is so bad. Like, I want to delete it, but there's also, I'm always like, there's stuff that I need on it. Which isn't true, but God, it's so hard to delete because there's like recipes and Olympic news, and I love all the Olympics memes. But I'm just gonna try to read for a couple hours right now. Okay, so I finished Good Material and I loved it so much. Dolly Alderton just hits the nail on the head every single time. It was so funny, super relatable. Morris's character was so funny. There was like a POV switch up that was a surprise for me, so that was really cool. And Misery still isn't available, so right now I started reading Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. I just know this is like a weird book. I don't really know much about it yet, so I'm really excited. And because I talk about Taylor Swift on this channel, I thought that I would talk about what happened in Vienna. So yesterday it was announced that all 3 of Taylor's shows in Vienna were canceled because a terrorist attack was being planned for the show. And it honestly has made me really, really upset. Obviously canceling it was the right decision, and obviously I feel so badly for the people that like planned so far in advance, spent thousands of dollars, and now like probably won't be able to see the tour at all. But what really upset me was the fact that like these men took something so joyful away from people, and it's just been a constant pattern in society, and this is kind of like the cherry on top of me just being so tired and so over it and so angry. Like, the Eras tour was supposed to be a safe space, and it really, really felt amazing and safe to be there, and they just ruined it. And every single place we go, we have to watch out for men. Like, you have to watch out at the bar because you might get roofied. You have to watch out when you're just walking on the street because you might get abducted, assaulted, / unalived. We get harassed on the street, we get harassed at the gym. Kids can't even go to school safely because of getting pew-pewed by men. And I know, unfortunately, concerts have always been dangerous, and there have been quite a few terrorist attacks at concerts before. Like the Ariana Grande one, there's one in Paris in 2015, and then the Las Vegas shooting. But it's just really, really frustrating that it keeps happening. And yeah, if anyone that's watching this was supposed to go, I'm so sorry. I've seen a lot of Swiftie events in Vienna on TikTok, and a lot of the fans like went to a square and have all been meeting up, and they met on Cornelia Street and were like hanging friendship bracelets on a tree on Cornelia Street. They've been trading friendship bracelets. There's a bunch of events, so hopefully people are enjoying that, but it's really sad. And I've been thinking about it a lot. And if you were supposed to go and it got canceled, I really, really hope that you get to see her. Okay, so now I'm 4 books behind on my reading goal, so this isn't going how it intended. I keep getting further and further behind, but I am almost done with Boy Parts, and I like it so much. I've been enjoying it the whole time, even though it's not super plot heavy. I love being in the main character's mind, trying to figure out what she's like, and I just got to page 215. If you have read this book, it is the part where they reveal why the book is titled Boy Parts, and my jaw dropped to the floor. I was like, it was crazy. This whole book is just like so messed up. So it's about this girl, Irina. She's the main character, and she's a photographer, and she takes sexually explicit photos of men that she meets just out and about throughout the day, and she gives them her card, and then they come over to her studio and she takes pictures of them. But you kind of start to see where some situations have gone wrong and her relationship to her friends and just like other people in her life. But yeah, it's super entertaining. It's well written. It's a really easy read. It's short. It's like 300 pages and the text is pretty big and you just want to flip through it. So I would definitely recommend that book if you like women's rights and women's wrongs. Like that kind of book. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Like if you liked A Certain Hunger, Otessa Moshfegh books, that kind of vibe, then you would like Boy Parts for sure. But I'm gonna try to finish this tonight. I only have like 80 pages left. And then Misery is finally available at the library, so I'm going to read Misery by Stephen King. I'm so excited. And that's it. I'll check back in when I'm done. Boy Parts and I loved it. If you liked my Year of Rest and Relaxation, I feel like it's like that part of that book that I liked, but just with a way more interesting plot, and I didn't get bored at all. Like it was interesting the entire time. It's really just like a quick, easy, fun read, but also the book is really dark, so it's really fun. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was a really interesting critique on the art world, and also power dynamics in men versus women had a huge part in it. So it's about this woman named Irina who specializes in fetish art. She is a professional photographer and she meets men just out and about during the day and gives them her card and brings them to her studio, which is in her house, and takes really vulnerable photos of them. And she's absolutely a horrible person. She's crazy. You learn about her relationship with her family and try to analyze that in the way that she's acting now. But basically she just wants to intimidate men, and she puts these men in these very vulnerable, violent situations, and they never are afraid of her, so she keeps escalating what she's doing to them in order to try to make them afraid of her. So she was a really fun character to analyze. I read it and I was like, I'm one failed situationship away from becoming her. Just kidding. But then I started Misery by Stephen King, and this is my second Stephen King book. I've only gotten a couple pages into it, but I really like the beginning. So it basically starts with you're inside the narrator's brain and he's being drugged. That's the setup from the whole book, so this isn't a spoiler. But that was a really cool beginning of a book of him coming in and out of consciousness and trying to figure out what's happening to him and the person that's doing these things to him. So I'm super excited to keep reading that. It's almost the end of August, so this is kind of going into my like fall spooky reading mood. So I'm super excited to read that, and then just like a bunch of other thrillers and dark academia fall books. So I had to return Misery on my Kindle because the 3 weeks had gone by and I hadn't finished it yet, so I had to order it on Amazon. And I try not to buy books because it's so expensive, and especially not from Amazon, but I needed to finish it and there weren't a lot of copies at like the actual library, so I just had to buy it and finish it this way. So it's taking me so long to read. I don't know why. It's good. Okay guys, so this video is going to end because it's December 2nd and I'm not going to make my reading goal this year. This is the first year that I'm not going to meet my reading goal, and honestly I'm okay with it. Everyone has bad reading years. I still have a month left, so we'll see, but I've still read like over 10 books, so I feel like that's pretty good. But Misery completely put me in a reading slump,
And I fear that Stephen King just might not be for me based on the 2 Stephen King books that I've read this year. Both put me in a reading slump. He just goes on tangents and then I'm like, what are we talking about that don't have to do with the plot? I'm not saying he's obviously one of the most talented writers and popular writers in the world. Misery wasn't for me. I DNF'd it. Maybe I'll come back to it. But I started The Book Thief because I needed something that was like easy to read, fast, that could get me back into reading. And I already like it way more, so I'm super excited to read that. But anyway, the end of this video is that I did not catch up to my reading goal. I only fell further behind than I was in the beginning, and it is okay to not meet your reading goal. But I will still do a yearly reading wrap up at the end of the month with all of the books that I read this year. I think I'm going to do a movie one as well. So please leave me book recommendations that got you out of a reading slump, because clearly I need that right now. But if you got this far, thank you so much for watching, and please let me know any other video ideas that you want to see. Bye!